Okay. I was gonna try to do this yesterday, but the pain, tiredness came too much, so I didn't. Ended up doing it today. So I want to talk about some of the articles from yesterday. I'm just gonna kind of go over them real quick, so I don't take too long. Okay. Right. So. I think that's it. Where does this 5-minute tip for a spider-free home come from? Why does it advertise that to me? I don't look that shit up. You can't see it, but it's there. Trump authorizes National Guard in Chicago as judge temporarily blocks his plan to deploy federal troops to Portland. At this point, the federal troops, it seems, what they're doing in these places is devastating. Like, the people who are causing the most harm to Oregon, Memphis, DC, LA, it's these guys walking around with these guns, pepper balls, tear gas, and all that. They're actually contaminating grounds to where kids can't even play on playgrounds and stuff because of what these guys are doing. A lot of these are innocent civilians. They ransacked an apartment. If you're going around on the internet, that's probably something you already know. These guys are attacking people that are just like this, just normal civilians. And We have how the U.S. got left behind in the global electric car race. Well, a lot of that was America putting its trust into EVs with Elon Musk, who is just nothing more than a giant charlatan. On taxpayer dime, mind you. Think about the Hyperloop. I brought this up before. Hyperloop didn't happen. The underground roads didn't happen. Musk can't even get a rocket in like the stratosphere. The most Musk has been able to do is transport a banana to the Indian Ocean. And that's the man who's in charge of making United States EVs. The United States, like, people are just going to have to understand. All these links will be in the description. I went in and changed everything. I don't know how quickly it updates that, but I went in and changed it, so everything, the link should, if they're not there right now, they will definitely be up there tomorrow, or later today. It's already been put in and saved. I don't know when YouTube will update it, but we're not the grandstander on the world stage anymore. Like, we have competitors now. The United States is not this behemoth it once was, and I think that's a hard pill for a lot of very nationalist American people to swallow. China's leading the market in EVs, just facts. China's becoming a force to be reckoned with on the global market for trade to America. It's facts. It's just the way it is. I mean, yeah. So America is fucked in many, many ways, but this is one. And if you are interested in economics and world trade and stuff like that, you should read this, because we really dropped the ball on that. Yeah, we're not what we used to be here in the United States. And this happened. U.S. Supreme Court gets rid of culture wars with LGBT guns and race cases. I'm not sure what this is about. It is set to wade back into the nation's culture wars during the new 9-month term that begins on Monday, with a series of continuous cases on issues including transgender athletes, gay conversion therapy, guns, and race. The first of these goes before the court on the second day of its term. Arguments are slated for Tuesday over the legality of a Democratic-backed Colorado law banning conversion therapy. There is a reason why conversion therapy gets banned. It causes far more harm than it aims to help through a conservative lens. The conservative lens is that you have to change who you are. You can't be gay. You can't be trans. And with the right therapy, we can help you be heterosexual and not trans. Shit doesn't work, though. It makes people who go through conversion therapy, even the most tamest of conversion therapies out there, the people who undergo it are significantly more at risk of committing suicide, because you're essentially, think about this. If you're a straight person, right? You're a guy, you're into women, or you're a woman and you're into men. You're straight. Can you imagine what it would do to you emotionally if an institution backed by the government came in and said, that's wrong? And look at a straight guy that wants to be with a woman, take you away from that woman that you love, and say, no, you have to be with this guy. You have to live as a couple and do everything as a couple and even try to have sex together. Now, apply with the straight women, the same thing. You have to go live with a woman. You have to live as a couple. Do everything together as a couple. Try to have sex with each other, too. Think about the psychological damage that would do to you. That's what conversion therapy does to gay people, to LGBTQ people. That's what it does. You cannot change your sexual orientation. If that could be done, a lot of people would have already done it. Your options is to accept who you are, or, I guess if you're super ultra conservative and you don't want to be gay even though you are, your only other option at that point is to not engage in it and just be voluntarily celibate for the rest of your life. So there are many other versions of conversion therapy are just flat out abuse. Just abuse. That's all it is. It's just torture and abuse. That's all it is. Just, let me knock your head into a wall. That'll fix you. What are they doing with the guns? I'm curious on that. The Colorado case plaintiff challenged the state's law as it violated of the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment protections. Bridge. Okay, that's free speech. First Amendment. Colorado's law subjects mental health professionals to discipline if they perform on children any treatment that attempts or purports to change an individual's sexual orientation. You can't do that. Literally, it's not possible, and that's exactly what conversion therapy does. I didn't read the rest of the argument. Maybe that's what it's trying to say. But I think it's more talking about, I don't know, I'm really interested in the gun issue. What are they bringing up with guns? I think it's going to talk about trans LGBTQ people shouldn't own guns. I bet that's what it is. I don't know. I haven't read it, but I looked at it and I thought this is actually something that should be. Yeah. And then this happened. Gunmen killed 2, injured 12 in a shootout in a crowd in Alabama capital city downtown. But we're not going to talk about it because, it wasn't a leftist. So we're not going to talk about it. Nope, it's just going to fade into the background. Just whoosh. It's okay when right-wingers kill people. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. We're not going to talk about No. Yeah. And then I found this, and this is fun. We gotta watch this.
Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all
I'm not against bipartisan agreement. Let's hear what he has to say.
come together and say, let's stop murders?
I like that.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape?
I agree with that too.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Nope.
I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C. Robbery fell by 57%.
You know, and he says this about pedophiles, but like, the problem, and you even put sex abuse in there. Pedophilia is a type of sex abuse. Pedophilia is a type of rape. And a child cannot give mutual, informed consent. Some pedophiles will argue, oh, but they can consent. Can they give informed? Do they understand? No, they don't. They don't. They don't. No. So I thought this was really funny. Ted Cruz says we should stop attacking pedophiles. I wonder what that's about. Maybe, well, here's today's first article that I pulled up. The Supreme Court rejects appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, imprisoned former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, released the fucking files. You know, I think that's why he's saying it, because of his little friend Donald Trump being on the Epstein files. And you guys, we should be nice to the pedophiles, you know. They can't help it, you know. Guys' penises and everything, they're compelled out of nowhere. But I, as a gay man, am completely expected to control myself. And I do. Everybody should. I mean, sexual assault is sexual assault. It doesn't matter who you are. This is so stupid. Alright, let's see what this is. The Epstein thing. Fuck. Supreme Court on Monday rejected... Page unresponsive. Shut up. Wait. What's that? I don't know. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, we're good. Okay, whatever. Supreme Court Monday rejected an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, the imprisoned former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. One of the first day of their new term, the justices declined to take up a case that would have drawn renewed attention to the sordid sexual abuse saga after President Donald Trump's administration sought to tamp down criticism over its refusal to publicly release more investigative files from Epstein cases. So like Ted Cruz said, we should stop attacking pedophiles, you guys. We don't need to see the Jeffrey Epstein list. No, we need to be nice to those people. Not talking, not the victims. We need to be nice to the people who victimize the people. This is so fake looking, that ad. Lawyers for Maxwell, a British socialite, argued that she never should have been tried or convicted for her role in luring teenage girls to be sexually abused. Really? I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure if anyone else in the world had done that, they would have been tried and convicted with a lot heavier sentence than what she got. By Epstein and the New York financier. She is serving 20-year prison term, though she was moved from we all know that. As their custom, the justice did not explain why they turned away the appeal. Trump's Republican administration has urged the High Court to stay out of the case. You know, this is... Trump goes to the Supreme Court and says, hey, don't touch this case. And they're like, okay. What the fuck? Maxwell's lawyers contend that a non-prosecution agreement reached in... we know about that already. Maxwell was prosecuted in Manhattan. Guilty of sex trafficking. We all know that. Is there anything else new? I think we just got the new news on this. Oh, here we go. The announcement produced outrage from conspiracy theorists and Trump supporters who have been hoping to see proof of a government cover-up. That expectation has driven in part by comments from officials including FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, who on his podcasts, we have podcasters in charge of our one of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Before their current positions had repeatedly promoted the idea that damaging details about prominent people were being withheld. And still, we all know that. Release the Epstein files. Patel, for instance, said in at least one podcast interview before becoming FBI director that Epstein's black book was under the direct control of the director of the FBI. We all know that. But the Justice Department said its review of evidence in the government's possession determined that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. The departed noted that much of the material was placed under seal by a court to protect victims, and only a fraction of it would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial. Faced with fury from his base, Trump sought to quickly turn the page, shutting down questioning of Bondi about Epstein at a White House cabinet meeting, and deriding as weaklings supporters, he said, were falling for the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. No, there's another Democrat up there. We're gonna get it released. It's getting released, and then he does this shutdown. He doesn't want it released. Oh, I saw a clip from this. This was dumb. The fandom behind Trump makes me want to throw up. It's like I don't have respect for people who have no sense of individuality and are just mired in this conformity and uniformity. And it's like they have this massive identity crisis of wanting to belong to something that they twist and contort their mind into little pretzels to try to be a part of, and this is a story as old as time. And fascists didn't invent it. You can get this charismatic person speaking, and then they, make promises. Oh, I know how you feel, blah, 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 blah. And they always say that they'll fix it. They have the answer to your problems, to your issues. And the solutions are always really simple and stupid. And the problem is if anyone ever says that they can solve your life's problems and your issues or how you feel about things with very simple solutions that are not specifically tailored to you, they are lying or selling you something. It's just that simple. Because no one has the answers, and if they had the answer to your problems, it would be individualized, because everyone's problems are fucking different. Anyway, U.S. forces on Saturday evening struck another vessel off the coast of Venezuela. Venezuela's already said, hey, they're trying to do a false flag on us. So that's already out in the air, that the United States is trying to false flag Venezuela and put in a puppet government. They already know it. Donald Trump said on Sunday thousands of sailors at a ceremony celebrating the U.S. Navy's 250th anniversary. He claimed that the vessel had been illegally carrying drugs, and added that the U.S. would also start looking at drug trafficking happening on land. I don't want him to do this. I like having drugs. That's just me. I don't think drugs should be illegal. I don't. I'd let them come into the country. They're fun. I don't mind drugs. I don't. But there's no evidence that these were drugs being smuggled in. That they were drug boats. They're just fishing boats. And they're killing innocent civilians. How lovely. Trump made the comment during... Oh my God. Trump made a lot of comments during that speech, and they were fucking weird. Like, this dude... You know, Google search is actually suppressing searches for, like, Trump and Alzheimer's. Like, because he keeps giving these speeches, and they're just getting more and more and more on fucking hinged. It's crazy. The speech at the Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia, next to the Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier. It was not immediately clear if he was referencing a strike announced on Friday, but the Defense Secretary Pete Higgs, by the Defense Secretary Pete Higgs. During his speech, Trump said the Navy supported the mission to blow the cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. There are no boats in the water anymore. You can't find them. Yeah, because you keep blowing them up. Everybody's afraid to go out into the water. You're terrorizing a completely different nation. Like, this is... I cannot believe we're doing this. This is a war crime. The Navy has also been utilized to join an armed conflict with drug cartels, leading to 4 strikes. And you know what? It's never going to work. The amount of money behind the drug cartels is a lot vaster than people think it is. If the drug cartels came to America, pulled all of their money out of banks that they have sitting here in the United States, our economy would instantly fall flat. Like, it would just decimate our economy. You do not want to know how much in assets, in American currency, the drug cartel owns. It would blow your fucking mind. And they're making that off of us, okay? So you can judge. We're the ones buying it. We're the ones wanting it here. If they didn't have the business, they wouldn't be coming here. And it's a global market. They don't just sell to... And the thing is, too, the drug trade is not solely from South America. It's not. You got a lot of poppy growers in the Middle East there. In fact, George W. Bush Jr.'s war in the Middle East was one of the reasons that caused the opiate epidemic. Because it opened up all the little poppy farmers in the Middle East, the Islamic radicals there, they didn't believe in doing that, so that they would police the farmers. So his war on Al-Qaeda made it so that the Al-Qaeda had to fight the U.S. military, and all these poppy farmers were like, cha-ching, and they grew a ton of poppies and made a lot of money off American and other countries, but off of American dollars. They find ways to bring it here. Legally. Don't know what to tell you. The Navy has also been utilized to join an armed conflict with drug cartels. Yeah. So Trump added that if drug smugglers were not coming in by sea, we'll have to start looking about the land because they'll be forced to go by land. And let me tell you, that's not going to work out well for them either. So, I mean, if you're self-medicating, you're screwed because of Trump. Just know that. The United Nations has condemned the U.S. Strikes, which the U.S. defends as countering narco-terrorists. There's no such thing as a narco-terrorist. Members of Tren de Agua, no. Designate a foreign terrorist organization in international waters. This doesn't even make sense. Like, this is just nonsense. Like, does anyone really believe this? Okay. International law does not allow governments to simply murder alleged drug traffickers. No shit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm done with this one. Yeah. Here are 5 major Supreme Court cases to be argued this fall by the Los Angeles Times. Conversion therapy and free speech. Does a licensed mental health counselor have a First Amendment right to talk to patients under age 18 about changing their sexual orientation or gender identity? If the sexual orientation thing flies, if they say, under 18, you can't talk about changing your sexual orientation, conversion therapy needs to go. Because that's what conversion therapy is. It's trying to change your sexual orientation to straight after you've come out of the closet. That's something glad you should be paying attention. Sexual, like, if they say that a psychologist, a counselor cannot talk to someone under age 18 about changing their sexual orientation, that should absolutely 100% apply to conversion therapy, and thus banning conversion therapy. And then they tack on the or gender identity, which a lot of them need counseling because some of them have gender dysphoria or experience gender euphoria, even if doing so is prohibited by state law. What's another one? Voting rights in black majority districts. That just sounds racist. Does a state violate the Constitution if it withdraws its congressional districts to create one with a black majority? Trump and tariff. Does President Trump have the legal authority acting on his own to impose large import taxes on products coming from otherwise friendly countries? I really fucking hope they say no. But with this shit Supreme Court, I have a feeling they'll be like, yes. Damn it. Okay, let's see what else. Transgender athletes and school sports. I think we know which way this Supreme Court's going to go on that one. And that's only like 5 people in the entire United States. Trump and independent agencies. May the president fire officials of independent agencies who were appointed with fixed terms set by Congress. Yeah, they're just tearing the government just completely apart, aren't they? I don't think he should. Everyone that he's replaced has been like a lunatic, like RFK. No. We have a podcaster in charge of the FBI, a Fox News host in charge of the fucking military. This is insane. No. Since 1887, Congress has created semi-independent boards, commissions, and agencies with regulatory duties, while their officials were appointed by the president. Their fixed terms kept them in office when a new president takes over. Since 1887. Since fucking 1887. No, Trump doesn't get to undo that. Fuck that. That's actually a good thing. I have a feeling they'll side with Trump with this Supreme Court. They're going to side with this. This is about the helicopters coming down in Chicago and arresting the people and everyone in the entire apartment in Chicago. If you haven't heard about that, this is fucked up. Real fucked up. It goes to show you think ICE, like my grandparents still think ICE is just only arresting illegal people. Why would they arrest people that are U.S. citizens that haven't done anything wrong? Wow, you really haven't been paying attention. Yeah, look at this fucking article because ICE has helicopters now too, apparently. Our tax dollars at work. No disability, no health care. But hey, we get to swoop down on helicopters and terrorize American citizens that have done nothing wrong and give them no due process. Trump plan would limit disability benefits for older Americans. This doesn't shock me. After all the gutting and firing that they've done, the Trump administration is preparing a plan that will make it harder for older Americans to qualify for Social Security disability payments, part of an overhaul of the federal safety net for poor, older, and disabled people that could result in hundreds of thousands of people losing benefits, according to people familiar with their plans. Currently, the Social Security Administration evaluates disability claims by considering age, work experience, and education to determine if a person can adjust to other types of work. Older applicants, typically over 50, have a better chance of qualifying because age is treated as a limitation and adapting to many jobs. But now officials are considering eliminating age as a factor entirely or raising the threshold to age 60. According to 3 people familiar with the plans who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share private discussions, they also plan to modernize labor market data used to judge whether claimants can work, replacing an outdated jobs database that includes obsolete occupations like nut sorters and telephone quotation clerks. Follow a Washington Post investigation in 2022. That is actually true. They still do go off of these weird job titles that no longer exist. It is unclear exactly how many Americans could lose access to disability benefits under the proposed rule changes. Actually, this rule change would probably help my disability case personally, because that's one of the things that they try to do is they try to throw out job codes that no longer exist. And if you get rid of those, then there's nothing left. Senior policy fellow at the Urban Institute and former officer of management and budget official through 5 administrations wrote in a recent paper that if the proposed rule reduced eligibility for the disability program by 10%, 750,000 fewer people would receive benefits for all or part of the next decade. We are already at the lowest approval rating for disability. at 33%. That is the lowest rating since its inception. And this is going to make it worse. In addition, 80,000 fewer widows and children would receive benefits due to the loss in eligibility of a spouse or parent. What are the children? What is the kid supposed to fucking do? What is the widow supposed to do? Especially if they're living a traditional family lifestyle, what is she supposed to do? This is horse shit. This is a zero-sum game. A lot of people are going to get fucked by this real fucking goddamn hard. That would lead to $82 billion less paid out in benefits over 10 years. Yeah, that's all they care about is the money. Except for the trillion, like almost $1 trillion that we spend on ICE, that's perfectly fine. They have Black Hawk helicopters, so they can, go and terrorize American citizens that are completely here legally. They're white and they're black American citizens. They have no criminal records. Zip tie them, have the children sit naked, out on the curb, put them all in a U-Haul truck, so we have the money for that, but not to, help people who are disabled and can't work. And nope, not that. Can't have that. Can't be nice to people. Can't give people, quality of life, and don't want to do that. We want to make life worse. Smulligan said, research has shown that a majority of older Americans who apply for disability benefits don't get another job. If the rule didn't consider age as a factor, more older disabled workers would probably start taking early retirement benefits, significantly reducing their monthly benefit amount. Older workers who claim retirement benefits at age 62 rather than receive Social Security disability insurance would receive 30% less in benefits for the rest of their lives. The criteria already is really tight enough that we're actually restricting some people we probably should allow. SSA spokeswoman Barton McKay said the agency is working on plans to propose improvements to disability adjudication process to ensure our disability program remains current and can be more efficiently administered. But this is not what ever happens. Every time they meddle with this kind of stuff, they make it harder for people with this. Like, it's already, like, people are already ending up homeless who are disabled. If you don't have friends, family, and community to take care of you, you're fucked. You're on the street. This isn't going to make that better. This is going to make that worse because, whatever. We don't care about people. We only care about, like, they're still going to collect taxes on this. That's the shitty part. They're going to collect taxes on it. And you're never going to see it. It's not going to go to what it's supposed to. It's going to go to ICE. It's going to go to the military. Fucking goddamn it. This includes proposing policy updates to occupational data sources and optimizing their use to serve our customers and preserve the trust funds, McKay said. Once the proposal is fully developed, we will share it publicly and request public comment through the standard rulemaking process. As with any rulemaking, we will consider and analyze public comments before deciding whether to finalize the rule. People familiar with the proposed changes said they are a priority of Russell Vogt, director of the Office of Management and Budget, who sought during Trump's first term to update the disability rules. I do not trust anything from Russell Vogt. Through executive action at the start of Trump's second term, the White House budget officer urged former acting commissioner Leland Duduque, I don't know how to say that, to pursue rule changes shortly after he took office. Conservatives have long argued that since Americans are living longer and fewer have jobs that require manual labor, many physically disabled workers could adapt to desk work. This is one of the problems I run into. I can't do desk work. Like, you see my arm is resting in my lap. I can't text and type more than 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Broadening their work options and resulting in fewer people being granted disability. Yep, there it is. Fewer people being granted disability benefits. That's what it's all about. We want your money. Social Security officials prepared to issue a similar rule at the end of the first Trump administration, but ran out of time. We felt that so many more jobs are now available to disabled people. If that's the case, they would be fucking working. Vocational rehab counselors fucking exist. And the SSA has always encouraged people to find work, go back to work if that's what, because staying at home all day doing nothing and talking to no one is really goddamn boring. It's not a blast. It's not. It's a kick in the balls. Yeah, this Mark guy who led work on the earlier proposed rule as the SSA's deputy commissioner for retirement and disability policy. During the first Trump administration, the nature of work has changed. And that's changing because AI is also taking over it. There's like millions of jobs that have been eliminated now. Tons of layoffs, millions of people laid. Like, this is horrible. We're all going to end up homeless on the street, you guys. Senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. Oh, another conservative think tank. Predicted that while the new rule under consideration would allow the agency to turn away more older people, more people with mental disabilities are likely to be approved. That's already an issue. That is already the big issue with disability. If you go in there and go, oh, I'm schizophrenic and I just don't like fucking people. They're like, oh, here you go. Have lots of money while you live in the basement with your mom. But if you go in there and you're like, I live in chronic pain, I sleep all the fucking time, I struggle to take a shower and brush my teeth, they're like, go get a job. Fuck. God damn it. This is already the issue. This is already the issue. You can just claim, I have GAPD. Boom, disability. Oh, you poor thing. You must just be retarded. Disability. But then you go in there and you're like, I've got an entire neural network that's compromised. I'm basically 73% permanent or paralyzed. Permanently partially disabled. No. That's fucked. State Finance Committee ranking Democrat Ron Wyder of Oregon argued that the rule change is just the first step in broader Republican plans to cut Social Security. Yep, I believe that. This is phase one of the Republican campaign to force Americans to work into old age to access their earned Social Security benefits, and represents the largest cut to disability insurance in American history, Wyden said in a statement to the Post. Americans with disabilities have worked and paid into Social Security just like everybody else, and they do not deserve the indignity of more bureaucratic water torture to get what they paid for. Thank you. Exactly. I couldn't agree more as somebody who is disabled and can barely, takes me 4 to 6 hours to brush my teeth, take a shower, and everything that I do in the morning. Like you don't understand. I've been awake since 6 a.m. and I'm just like, I do this for a sense of self-actualization. That's why I am doing these live streams. That's why I'm doing it. I don't actually like doing these. I just need a sense of accomplishment because most of my day is spent pep talking myself from one activity to another. It's very boring. I am exhausted. I am tired all the time. There's nothing to do. I can't do any of the stuff that I used to do. All the arts and crafts that I used to do. I can't do that. Playing instruments. Can't do that. I'm fucked. All I do is just sit there, like, on the couch, like, just watching YouTube videos. That's all I do. It's not fun. I don't want to do that. I want to get out. I want to see the world. I want to go touch grass. I can't. The $11 billion monthly? Is that supposed to say monthly? Disability program, because it's spelled Montly. I don't know. Program is separate from Social Security's retirement system. It is also far more difficult to qualify for benefits under the program than the disability system for veterans. Yep. The administration faces a challenge finding ways to keep the retirement fund going as it approaches insolvency, Commissioner Frank said. The agency is not considering raising the age that retirees qualify for benefits, walking back an earlier comment in the administration. Bottom line, just the bottom line is this will make it like amazingly difficult for anybody to get disability who needs it. So I don't know what people with disabilities are going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. You're screwed. This was a weird one. South Carolina judge's $1.5 million home destroyed in huge fire with family forced to jump out of the window. There was a video of this. Let me see if I refresh it. If it'll come back. Here it is. Oh, I don't want to hear about hymns. Fuck you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's how people talk to their doctor. Yeah, an AI thing. No, it's on $199 a month. Fuck you. Advertisement. False promises. Look at that baby burn.
You can hear this thing burning.
Okay. I don't know that this was... It began with an apparent explosion. Judge Goodstein was walking on the beach when the fire started. He said her husband, Ernie, was in the house with the children and perhaps grandchildren. The family had to escape by jumping from the window or balcony. I'm told there were injuries from the fall, such as broken legs. Ernie's injuries may have been the most serious, for he was airlifted to the hospital. Arnold Goodstein, a Democrat, served the South Carolina House of Representatives from 1971 to 1973, and the state senate in 1969 to 1970, and then again from 1975 to 1979. The couple's son, Arnold Goodstein III, and a third person were also taken to the emergency room for treatment. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom property with reportedly valued at $1.55 million. We out. Judge Goldstein had reportedly received multiple death threats in response to her September 2nd ruling, which placed her at odds with Trump and South Carolina's Republican Governor Henry McMaster, who said the circuit court was wrong to place itself in the way of the U.S. government and filed an emergency petition to overturn the verdict. On what? Database. Illegal immigrants that was suspected unlawfully permitted to cast votes in the state election. It was election denial. Shit. Alright. What else? Okay, that's it. I think we're done. I think it's this one. Is it that one? We're gonna find out. Did I hit the right button? I did. Sweet. You know what I'd really like to do instead of this streaming? Make a video. Like a video essay or something. A video, not a live stream. And if I could get paid to do this, then yes, I would. I would do it. But that's a lot harder to do than you think. That is a lot harder to do than you think. Getting on here and talking into a microphone and a camera phone, easy. I mean, you don't have to do anything except sit and talk. Look at what's on the screen, read what's on the screen, show the people what's on the screen. Making those videos, it's a lot harder to do research, get citations, sources, put in all the tags and everything, make the cover photo. That takes time. Still not terribly difficult. The trick is going viral. Anyone can sit in front of a microphone and a camera and talk. Question is, how do you go viral? And then where do you go from there? Because now anymore, it's like you need a team behind you. So, I don't know. Yeah. All links in the description. I'm tired already, even though I've been drinking. I've drank like several shots of espresso. I've had tea, multiple tea. Still fucking tired. A lot of pain. I've already had a nap too. Yeah. So, like, share, subscribe, and comment and all that shit. And I think maybe the outro, I'll do a different song this time. Because I keep doing, the We Want It Dark or the other one. The collectivist acoustic thingy. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You guys, you all take care. I'm out. I just gotta make sure that's the right one. The right prompt. Let's see. Yep. Enjoy.